Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to part 3 of coloring Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Now this time I've already zoomed in, figured that would be quicker. Now today I want to focus on the lighter sides of the beam, not this, because that actually requires like entirely different colors, and I think I could better match that part with the rest that's going on there. So I just wanted to see if I could do those lighter parts of the beam and maybe a bit of that sky. Looks like it's completely white. It's probably not, but I'm gonna start with that little bit, for which I have grabbed my 283 because I figured that was closest to it, which is basically a reddish kind of brown. So I'm just gonna start there and hope that I remind myself to name the rest of the colors too. I would prefer to get both sides like in the shot, but oh, one of my pencils actually rolled into the book. I'm just gonna see how it goes, and this is a very short one, so I had to grab my extender, but also gotta keep checking if the focus isn't going to weird things like my hand, because last time I checked the focus by actually putting a pencil close, and that actually instantly focused, but right now it's finally stopped doing that for now. Because that was a bit annoying, like that. I actually did turn that autofocus off, but for some reason it still does what it wants. It's a phone with an opinion of its own. That sort of rhymes. Now between this and part 2, there's actually a bit more time, because part 1 kind of, I don't know, guess it just wasn't quite what I expected, so I had a little time to think about it. And I realized that, wanting to do more was maybe just silly of me, because I always take forever on these pictures. It's just what these pictures need. So I'm not sure where that whole idea of I need to do more, where that feeling came from, but well, for some reason it was there. This looks kind of okay, I think. This is the only place where I really need it. So I really only grabbed this pencil for this little part. So that means I could just, because this is why it's in the pencil extender. It would be, well, it would be doable, but I wouldn't prefer it. I'll just keep it in the extender. And then, where are we off to now? I mean, I did say we should color from here and then just along. So I'll just try and do that. Actually, when moving things, I kind of broke this one, so I'm gonna have to sharpen that first. Alright, so it's kind of like, so there's a little bit of nothing, I guess. Could just kind of stay away from the line. So how far are we going? Is there like a little bump right there, and I think up till there, maybe I could just use that castle as a reference, like that tower. well, one of these towers, so roughly up till there. I'll just start with that. I mean, this is a short pencil too, but I think I can make it work. Because that's one of the things I dislike about my pencil extender is that, you know, I have to twist it, and I am looking into getting another one. But I have other things I want too, so I'm kind of like waiting till I have more than one thing to order. That's how I just make like a wish list. That way I don't really have to keep track of all the things that I've ordered because it's just one big order. So I'm definitely adding my pencil sharpener as well. Alright, so there's another little, yeah, right in the middle-ish. That goes up until the end of that. So I'm thinking roughly here, and kind of goes like that, I think. It doesn't have to be perfect, but for those of you who have been watching part 1 and 2, it being perfect is kind of what I'm going for. So we have another one, which starts just below, which should be roughly there. And then it goes to, well, I would say up until that tower. So right there should still be sort of in the middle. Kind of like this. There's a little blob going down. Well, I think that looks convincing-ish. And then that little bit I'm going to do as well. Just a little line over here. I feel like it should go over here. I'm already way off because it's like this thing went too long, but it's made of wood. It doesn't have to be perfect. Other than that, I feel like there's a little line over here. I'll just put that in there. Random lines. That's wood. And a little thin one over here. Well, I did not mean to do that, but it will make it look real-ish. Those are entirely different colors. So I think I'm now on to, that was 188. Not sure I mentioned that. Kind of already put everything at the ready. So now I have 187, which is pretty much surrounding all the red and a bit at the bottom. So I'll just start with that bottom. That's the pencil that looks kind of weird. Again, I put them in my sharpener, and I have the idea that my sharpener kind of, well, I mean, it's a table one, but let's just say it didn't go like straight in, but kind of like in an angle. Because, I mean, it's definitely centered, but I did quickly realize that I had to stop using it for a bit, because I had it happening to a lot of pencils at some time, so I think there's just something wrong with that sharpener. But everyone was raving about them, so, you know, I got one, because, you know, if everyone is so excited, there's got to be something good. Reviews were good, and I never really hated the thing. It's just that, you know, when you're recording, noise is, I want to avoid noise, and that sharpener does make some noise. Alright, so I have a little gap thingy, that's right here, so that is kind of like my waypoint, I guess. Let's just see if we can get in there. At least I think I'm more at peace with knowing that, you know, this is going to take forever. But no, I do spend a lot of time like on social media and on Facebook, and it seems like, you know, people just want things to be done within a day. I don't know, I guess I kind of had that too, you know, like I just had that idea that I could do more. What's more is that I usually don't really, I just sit down and color. I don't have a timer or something. It's just at some point, you know you gotta stop, but I don't really keep track of the time that I actually spend coloring. So, you know, when you are recording, you become very aware of how much time you spend. There's like a little dark line right there, which I want to add somehow. I'm going to try anyways. So I'm going to see if I can get in there. Because it's literally a line with like lumpy bumpies here and there, so I can just, yeah, I feel like this would do. That's a lumpy bumpy line. I don't know if lumpy bumpy is any kind of clearing things up, but I do feel like I have to fix this pencil. It just looks weird. I'm just going to do that. I mean, I'm annoyed over nothing, but it is distracting me. Well, that took a bit to fix, but it's sort of done. Actually, I had to grab the extender as well. I guess things will not be going my way today either. It's good to know. It's good to start off knowing that. I'm just gonna go around those darker areas. I'm just gonna add this a little bit. Let me just recheck. So what I have here was the burnt ochre, so that's that one. Just to see where I want that color to all go. I think it's like I chose this as the in-between. So that's these areas, and I mean, again, I could just grab the other swatches to see if I can find a better match, but I don't know. I am a bit impatient, even though I'm aware that that's just gonna frustrate me a lot. It did in part one, because I don't know, it's like you want result, but I think it's actually more than that this time, because there's a little thingy there. I mean, I have decided to share the process. You know, you want there to be a process. You know, I'd hate for everyone to click my videos and be like, wow, we're not getting anywhere. You know, I do kind of want to make it good enough to watch, I guess. I'm just going to create like a swirl to connect them, I guess. I'm not sure why I'm doing that, but I am doing it. There's like a little fumbling over here, fumbly line. I don't know. Well, you know, that looks like it could be something wood. Yeah, there's a little thingy here. So I actually been looking a bit at this picture. And there's so many things over here, and there's just two shines, but over here there's these gems that I definitely want to add. So there's a lot of drawing gonna be involved in this, which I don't know, I wasn't quite prepared for that. I was not gonna do that bottom part yet. I don't have colors for that. I was like really wondering, like, it's not matching, but it's not supposed to. Or I'm just gonna add a little bit there, because I feel like it should. Right, so that fumbly line kind of continues. Now this is going to be fun, because I don't want to be swatching, swooping, swapping. So I'm just gonna, alright. Now, I guess I want to also go into this one, which again is very short. So I'm really handicapped right now. This is just not making it easy. I'm also getting kind of stuck with my mic right now, so. Alright. I mean, I can still hold it. I guess it's okay. It's more that my hand is now stuck in a tray of pencils. I have an entire desk, but for some reason, I feel like everything that is on the desk is supposed to be on the desk. Probably half of it can just be moved out of the way. You know, actually recently renovated the room, I guess. It was just like a messy room. And I got this desk, which I put right under the window, which I thought was going to be very smart because of the light. But I also noticed I am next to the window and you can kind of hear everything outside, which is not necessarily the effect I'm going for. The whole hear everything that happens effect. And I also found that, you know, daylight can be so unpredictable. It's like different every time. So even if I would be coloring during the day, I'd probably still turn on my lights just to keep it like consistent. It looks too orangey, but I also see that that yellow that I'm definitely going to be adding straight away before I forget it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you know, I do want it to sort of look alike. So that yellow just kind of goes on till about here. I guess that's a good thing about it being wood, that, you know, you kind of, doesn't have to look the same. And maybe the places where you put your colors don't have to mean anything either. All right, so that what I'm doing right there, because I see that little, I mean, maybe on camera it doesn't really show, but I mean, if you have the book yourself, then, you know, you could probably see what I mean. Now, I might actually add some of that ink over it, but, you know, cross that bridge when we get there, because it sounds kind of maybe like a weird idea, but it makes all kinds of sense to me. All right. Now, for some reason, I feel like I'm really missing a color, because, I mean, this is about as light. Yeah, I could go for that, or I think this is actually one of those times where I can better grab one of the others. Would it be? No, it's not one of those beige. It's not. There's nothing on this that can help me. And this is, I guess, the fun of having multiple sets to choose from. Although in these browns, it's kind of similar. So I feel, ooh, now that might be something I can use. I should just keep going, see where it takes me. I mean, the other yellows are not gonna, it definitely feels like that 182 or maybe the 180, but the 180 and the 182 are so similar that I feel like it's a bit useless. It makes no sense. I mean, so far, it kind of looks okay. I'm just going to be adding, I mean, there's like definitely a wider area right there. I'm just going to sort of start adding it like I know what I'm doing. And then I can always come back and make it lighter or darker. That's where my Pitt pens do come in. Found that out on using it on water, and I thought it was like too blue, so I just went over it, and you can kind of dull the colors again. So I mean, the base of this kind of looks okay. Actually having a grumpy stomach again, which is weird because I just ate, but all right, I feel like it kind of looks like it could be wet. Now there's a little dark thingy over there. So I'm gonna get my huge pencil, and that's, I mean, on a reference, I always kind of look like, where is it? Like, can I find anything close to it? But I'm thinking right here. Now, because it's such a small one, I mean, I can't really color with it, but there's that thingy. I mean, I'm holding it anyway, so might as well just, you know, I really like to find like a reference point. Like there's a twig thing right there, which is right there. So if we go a little to the right, then it should be right there. Like a little circle. Now, I should probably just add this over here as well to just get me started a bit. I'm just gonna go all the way down. Well, not all the way down, but because at the bottom, well, there is like a lighter spot right here in that reference. So I'm just gonna do that. Just think that if I sort of grab this part and add it to what I'm doing, there's so much white going on. It's like it's almost cream. I could actually check. I feel like I should be getting a cream or ivory or whatever they call it. There you are, cream. That seems to be a better match. Oh my god, another one. So I had my polys for a while, and they're all just a little short. I do have like a spare for this, for many, because as soon as I see they're kind of like at a certain length, because usually when I have a few that are, well, this, then I usually also have these. So this one I would have to order, and then I also add any pencil of this size to the list, because otherwise you'll just be ordering pencils every month if you're really going to wait for it to be, well, gone. Well, I feel like I should probably also get the ivory for that very, yeah, and lucky for me, that I used a little more than the rest, so I already had to renew that. Still debating myself on what to do with all those kind of leftover stumps, I guess. Because you could just throw them away, but I feel like you could probably do something creative with it. I feel like I'm not getting anywhere again. This is like, you know, I do feel like I'm going way lighter than that reference, but I also feel like that might be because those trees are already colored. And over here, there's just, well, there's no real coloring there, so that means right this is dark and that is light, but maybe by the time it's colored, you know, maybe I should just have a little faith. We will get there. No, I was an optimist kind of going, I want to do the beams, and I wanted to see what else I could do, but the big fat nothing might be what it would turn into. I just gotta also keep reminding myself that I'd rather do it good. And maybe in time I will also get like faster with this, because you know by then I probably would have figured out my pencils a bit more. Because I'm still, yeah, I don't know, I guess the pages that I did before this were less demanding, so you could kind of get away with just not using any kind of technique, not really knowing your pencils. Now, I could really get away with that, but I feel like I should probably get to know my pencils a bit better. Well, I do feel like that kind of looks okay. I mean, that line is still very annoying, so maybe I can white that out a little more, but yeah, I feel like I should, but let's just see what happens if I go over it with a little brown. Because that might make it look a little bit more in place or something. Because now it really does look like a line, it still does. And that's got to be maybe a difference between using ink and a brush or using the pen. But I feel like I can live with it. I mean, I still have to do that sky, and that sky is probably not going to change color a lot compared to what I have now, so I might just add a little bit of Posca to it. I feel like I'm already in burnishing mode here. But, I mean, it does kind of look good. Now, I also grabbed, well, what was it, 270 Warm Gray 1. Yeah, I don't need that. I'm just going to put that away. Seems like the wrong color. Let's just see if I can let go of all that perfectionism. Now that line, I feel like I should get just a brown, which, lucky for me, did I? That's the walnut. Can I please use the walnut? Is that acceptable? Is walnut acceptable too? It is. Because I feel like I'm only working with like tiny pencils. This is the one I initially picked. And I just went for the alternative. So that would be 177, because it's just a line, so maybe it doesn't have to be a perfect match. Did I actually white these out? Well, why would I do that? Now there's also like a line here, but I'm not really seeing it over there. I mean, it's more like it's that curvature, but I'm just gonna go and make it a line. Because I mean, this one actually continues, meaning that this is probably where that vine would have been that I decided not to draw in, because I don't know, I felt like that was a big risk. Of course, I could have just tried and draw it in, and if that didn't work, I could have just used an eraser, but I don't know. Someday. There's still so many pictures in here. So at some point, right, you're off screen, Dodo. Guess that's a bit, there's a pros and cons of the zoom in. I mean, one, I actually have like more room. I mean, like I mentioned in I think it was part 1, I really like to, I don't know, get in, I want to look things up closer. But with the camera the way it was kind of in the way, so I couldn't really get a clear look of things. All right, so there's like some detail over there that I'm just gonna see if I add a little bit of that brown, if I can make it look like it's sort of feel like I can make it look like it's actually sort of curving. It's a bit of a risk here, but we are here to learn as well. So if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And now I feel like I should really add that lighter yellow. I mean, I don't think that I have a better option here. Ooh, maybe I do. But you know, right now I'm just kind of, I keep grabbing pencils. So I'm just gonna see if adding the 241 of my Pablos, if that is gonna do any good to the overall look. Because it's more like a yellowy kind of cream. I feel like it's more defined on that side, but I might just grab like a pencil and draw everything in. I mean, first off, I just want to make it look yellowy. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. It does have to be darker than the sky. Now that it certainly is. So I feel like, you know, some part of me felt like it would be easy to just start at the top, but I feel like it might not be the easiest part to have actually picked to start. Might have actually made it difficult on myself to pick this as a starting point. Because, I mean, with a tree, you can just section it off, right? And with the flowers, you can sort of create sections you want to do. But, you know, either way, at some point, I would have had to color this. So that might as well be now. All right, now I feel like if I grab a gray, then I can probably draw in the lines. Now for this, I am actually going to go with my Pablos. Oh yeah, that's not a smudge, that's a typo. Like, what gray do I want? I feel like I should go for the 006. Do you still have a decent point? Because I'm going to definitely need a very sharp point. And that is why I'm picking a Pablo, because I probably have this color in my polys as well, but so there's a line kind of going underneath that white, just around that white, so a little bit here. Oh, that's a very light one, but oh well, I will make it work, I think. Can always go darker, right? It doesn't really have to make sense either. So it's a line that kind of goes up to, I don't know, the yellow? No, it doesn't matter a whole lot. I'll just, I see that I have like sort of blobs created already. There's already kind of like clear points where you can see it going from light to dark. So I'm just gonna use those. Right here. And right here. There's like these color differences anyway, so I'm just tracing those. Don't want to do anything up there now, but that does kind of continue into gray, so I'll just do that too. A little bit over here. And that does look kind of okay. It's feeling like I was going a little bit overboard, but it makes sense to me. I guess that's the problem. You know, that reference was done with paint. So you want the same, but you can't. which I cannot handle. It must look somewhat the same. And that's why I got the book, because I wanted to try and make it look like that reference. I do have to say that the light is not always my biggest friend. So if I just move that light, it does look kind of, yeah, well, I'll just see how it goes. Because this line kind of continues a long way. So I'll just, because it already created like color differences. So, but that line doesn't really show up, which is okay. I'll just continue making lines. We'll see how it looks in the end. Yeah, I feel like that looks sort of okay. I mean, it's not perfect, but maybe I can just go over it one more time with a color of choice and maybe just dim it a little bit. Do I really want to use this one, or do I really want to go, I'm just going to go for that yellow because I feel like I got that for no apparent reason. Might be too yellowy. Yeah, that's too yellowy. So I am going for that. What was it? 182. I feel like I'm going too dark, so I'll just go back to my Pablo and see if I can sort of lighten everything. See, this is also kind of dulling those lines. I'm not sure I'm really liking this. I should have not gone this dark, but I'm gonna experiment on that part where it's like gonna be white. And you know, if that turns out okay, then maybe I can add that in different places as well. Just gonna really have to get rid of that crumble. And hope that it works, because this might just create a little bit of a mess, but I'm just gonna try anyways. Yeah, this is just, it's got to be subtle. I feel like I should probably respect those gray lines I just drew to make it look like what I'm doing right now is supposed to be there. And this really is a big gamble, I feel, but I should have just left things white, but for some reason I just feel like I have to color everything. Well, it's mostly that part at the top that I'm not too excited about, but I'll just, you know, I could go over that, hopefully, in a little bit. Alright, let's just see. I'll just leave that. There's a little bit of lighter here. I'll just, oh, I already got started at making this a disaster, so I might as well continue. So many things going wrong here that I might as well just start to embrace it. Alright, now for that part, I do feel like I am definitely holding the wrong one. Alright, let's just see. I would definitely go for whatever it is, which is that 178. Ooh. Well, lucky me. Is that? Oh my god, not again. What is this? This is, I can't even see, this is 280. Yeah, that is not what I need. So, you go there. What is this? I can't see, but I think that this is what I'm looking for. This has got, well, it has to be the 178. We'll find out. Would be just great if I would actually be able to see the numbers, but well, okay. So I'm just gonna do a little bit around here, just get started. And I really want to get these beams done. And we're definitely not getting to that sky. That is not happening. I am giving up on that. Maybe we could get sort of started, but yeah, I feel like no. That was the optimist in me, thinking we would just color these beams and be done with it. But again, you know, normally I don't really keep track of how much time I spent on a page. So, because normally I would just be near a television and I'd be just watching television and coloring. So half the time you kind of just stop coloring and you're just watching television, really. So, you know, then you feel like you've been coloring for 3 hours, and then really it was only like 30 minutes because the rest of the time you were distracted by the television. So I guess that's just what's happening. Finding out how long it takes. Now, I'm actually tempted to almost go for some sort of green as a bottom, but I might be, you know, I'm going to go for that 167 and go over that really lightly. Is this the 167? I always get the wrong ones. This is the 167. So just for that, I'm just going to do that really light. Just in hopes that it'll kind of mix with whatever color comes over it. It's already turning out a lot lighter than I was hoping, but it's okay. Yeah, it's not the main color. It's almost like yellow. Guess if I go darker now, I might actually risk going too many layers in green, but I've got to already put down a layer of something else. So that means I'm gonna probably go for that 173, which is very dark. But, you know, with light pressure, which is why I always color them like this. So with light pressure, it does look different. I guess you gotta kind of, I mean, on the one hand, you want to make it look like that Thomas Kinkade painting page. You want to make it look like the reference. But on the other, you should really be at peace with the fact that it will never look the same. If it does, I mean, wow. Well, I have definitely seen people get extremely close to it, but everyone's basically saying the same thing. You know, you won't do it. Which has nothing to do with our skill and everything to do with what just, I mean, wow. I mean, there is a reason we all bought this book. That's because that aside, that's just awesome. Although I get that some people just, you know, there is like a whole Disney group I'm not necessarily one of those I want everything Disney. Although I did get, there were like different books, and I had to get this one because it had Winnie the Pooh in here, and the other one did not. So I guess that's the complicated story of why I bought this one and not the other ones. I do feel like 183. Yes. That is just, but where did I put it? Oh my god, it's just, why are you all so tiny? Why? So it does kind of, yeah, up till, I don't know, there's a little thingy here. I'll just color a thingy. I'll make a thingy over here. I guess I already got to keep in mind that the other beam isn't perfect either, so if I want to keep the symmetry, then this one has to be kind of off as well. I do believe that, if it doesn't go quite as you like, make sure that it's kind of like balanced. Because in the end, if the entire page kind of looks like it's imbalanced, then that will create, we'll call it a certain calm that will just, no. If it's a mess, then, bring it all together. Make it an even mess. I feel like I should really try and darken or lighten this. Yeah, that green was a bit of a gamble. Can I make it more browny? Probably. I can do this. It's one of those colors where you're kind of wondering, is it green? Is it brown? Is it green brown? How do you recreate it? It does help that I have like 2 sets of pencils, so I do have a lot of choices. And still, I feel like I'm missing something. But I got my Pablos in like December, so I've had them for 2 months. This is maybe the 4th page that I'm using them on. I'm not sure. I don't really keep track of that either. I just color. Alright, now that, that does look like it could be, this light is just kind of, it does look good enough to me. So now I'll just add a little bit of this. Kind of just going by feel now. That reference is good, but kind of got to make it your own as well. And this part, it's just a very light area. Now, I remember there being a time where I would basically give everything like a darker shade than I should have. Well, no, the other way around. That's what I'm doing now. Now, everything is getting too dark. But at some point, it was like always too light. So I guess I balanced myself out a bit aggressively. Meaning that I'm now doing everything too dark. Because that did take a little bit of time to kind of make myself go darker in certain areas. But I did the same with the beams, and it did turn out pretty good. Now, just doing this very lightly to just make sure that not the entire beam is going to be the exact same color. There's a little bit of a brown thingy over here, so I'm just going to make it a brown thingy. Brown thingy. And that looks good enough. Looks like it could be wood. I don't know. Already made a little bit of a bloppy there. Alright. Some few lines as well. I'm just gonna keep it light. I feel like this is kind of good. Now I think we're going back to that 182. Do I have any other options? No, the 182 is like the lightest brown that I have. So I will be using that. This is probably me turning this too dark, but I don't know. Trust the process. And again, I just feel like if you get it balanced in the end, then it doesn't really matter that you may have gone too dark, because if it's all in the same, if you make the same mistake like everywhere, then it doesn't count as a mistake anymore. Because I do feel like I went a bit too dark at that area, but time will tell, I guess. I do guess a lot. We all have a word that we just repeat over and over and over. Although for some words I'd be kind of struggling finding a different way to say them anyways, but I do feel like this beam is coming together rather nicely. I mean, I guess I could, there I went again. I suppose I could ask in the comments for like suggestions on how long you want a color along to be, or color in chat, or whichever way this went, but I'm actually having so much fun right now that by the time this is uploaded, I'm probably already at part, well, I don't know, because I kind of just, you know, I color, but then I keep coloring, and I also feel like I shouldn't just load them all at once. I mean, my phone is kind of sluggish when I upload. That is annoying, because I actually do everything from my phone. I tried with a video editor on my laptop, but my laptop is just not, it wasn't supposed to be used for that. I bought that just to keep, like, you know, for documents, and I just needed a laptop to run Microsoft Office, I guess. So if I could just type out a document and make a spreadsheet, then that was good. So my laptop just won't allow me to really edit videos. And I do have to say, you know, I have been watching my own videos, well, maybe not all of it, but some of them, you know, like just kind of skimming through. And I don't know, the fact that, for the fact that I made it on my phone, I'm actually kind of really okay with the end result. I mean, one, I'm filming on my phone. I mean, now I'm actually using, I think, the right-ish settings. So we're not looking at a square anymore. But that's also kind of like before. I was using the markers, and you just kind of go over that page really quick, and you can't just be like over here and think like, oh my god, I'm off screen, and then stop, and because, you know, then it becomes tricky. But with pencil, you can just stop at any time. I mean, maybe if you leave it lying around for too long, then that might be a bit of a thing, but all right, now I really like how that beam turned out. I just want to do like a few adjustments, because I do feel like I should go a little bit darker. So you can just keep going over and over and over. But you know, this is just like to add a little bit of detail. This is, I guess what I'm doing right now is not so much coloring, it's more like I'm adding the suggestion of this color, which is the walnut brown. But I feel like that is good. And I feel like it's not really all that different from what I have going on there. Oh no, I did add the brown, the gray, the brown, the gray. I did add something there. So I do feel like maybe I should do a little bit over here to just bring it together. Because now I feel like there's a bit of a gap. It doesn't have to be much, it just has to sort of, I mean, this line was interrupted, so I'll just add that with the gray. Make it look all like one, or maybe, this might actually be a better idea, is that I could just add brown over there, because I do feel like I could do that, but I'm gonna have to find a nice brown over here with a good point, so it's gonna be dark. Probably just gonna go for, yeah, 14047. 14047. Is it 047? I mean, that's all with 4. Is this another typo? It is not. Ooh. Alright, so I'm just gonna make that brown because I feel like that would actually bring those two together a bit more. Even though the reference, it seems more like gray, but I feel like going over this with the brown would just sort of unite the two beams. Guess that's what I was kind of trying to say earlier, like, you know, if you go wrong somewhere, be consistent about it, so, you know, it brings it all together. I feel like I'm, yeah, you know, on this side, it's just not that obvious, but I feel like I can just make it work anyways. It's one of those things where I think that if I adjust too much, I might actually regret that later on. So what I'm just gonna try is, I had that ivory. I'm just gonna go over that and see if I can sort of dull it a bit, which I feel I can do because these are actually like the softer pencils. So because it's so soft, I should probably be able to go over that. Not sure. Stop making it worse, Dodo. Stop. No. Yes. Stop arguing with yourself. No. Alright. Harold was telling I didn't want to scare people away, and look what I'm doing now. Well. Quite literally talking to myself. It already felt like talking to myself. This kind of thing, because while I'm recording this, you know, I do have people commenting, but it's just not that much yet, so still kind of have no idea what people really think. You know what? I feel like I should just sort of stop. I mean, maybe, I don't know, I feel like I should try doing that little washi thing, but I'm just gonna see if I'm gonna regret that real fast. I mean, I've already gotten started, but kind of. I feel like this could lighten it up a bit. I feel more like I should not have been touching it, but again, I've already started. So make the mess evenly so that the page comes together. Because it actually dries a bit transparent, I think. Now if I just go over that a little bit, see if I can bring some color on top of that white. I have no idea what I'm doing right now. This is the part where I feel like I made it sort of not okay over here, and now I'm trying to correct it. Clearly not knowing how. Oh, well, that was kind of working. I just feel like I went too all out on this part with the darker colors. Now what happens if I just turn that light off, because that was being a bit of a trickster yesterday. I do feel like I could probably live with this. Now that sky we are not going to be able to do. I feel like I just don't have the time for that. But, you know, I'm just going to do like a compromise kind of thing. What is that? Is that a smudge? How do I get a smudge? Oh yeah, that was that blue that I dropped yesterday. Right, now into... So that little bit, it's just I'm just going to do the top one because that one actually is a different color. Now, I feel, because it's such a small area, I'm going to want to use pencils with a really good point, and I feel like I can sharpen my Pablos way better. Now that right there is spring green. Now also, these are relatively new, so I don't have to really worry about holding them. Ooh, I feel like I should get that light green in there. I don't know why, but let me just see. It's such a small area. I mean, that light one I'm definitely convinced of, because that's just feels all kinds of right. I feel maybe that spruce green, which is that. It's just I have way too many colors here. I do have to say, I keep finding that gold print a bit annoying. Half the time I can't find, and so I need something in between this and that. So I think that might be the Empire green, which sort of feels like it's over there, which is 290. That gold is not helping. All right, I feel like this should be it. So I'm just gonna go do a little bit of light colors. I'll just see if I can get everything sort of in screen, on screen, in screen, because there's a little bit of light, and it's like on top of something over here. I'll just, yeah, I don't know, here, yeah, I'll just put it here. These lines aren't exactly a match. And that's about all the light I'm going to use. Now we're going into that 290. I have to say that this is like I call that more like a blue kind of. I mean, I have like the real green, and then you have these, yeah, that one is still normal green. I mean, in my other set, it would be, for my polys, the Empire green would be, I don't know. I don't think I really have it. No. Maybe one of these. Yeah, I just, well, that's why, of course, I bought another set, because I feel like sometimes I'm missing colors. So this is, I don't know, it's a bright kind of green, but it's not exactly green, and it's just a little corner though. Such a tiny place. I feel like I want to get another color in here though. And there's like so much going on in such a small area. But you know, that is the beauty of these books. They do challenge. I'm just gonna create a bit of a sharper point on this really dark one. I could go really dark when I get the polys, because they do complement each other. When you look at just the greens, you know, that the polys just go way darker. But then I feel like the Pablo set actually has some interesting browns. So I guess it all, your choice of what set of pencils you want also depends on what you want to color. I like pictures with landscapes, and so greens for trees and leaves and everything, you know, I just really need them. So that's why I'm looking for this page, because I have assorted greens. I do feel like it's looking a bit lumpy. I'm just gonna go for a, I don't know, I feel like I should just go for a really dark color. I think that's the umber that I need, yes. I actually almost have a part of my camera clamp in my eye because I really want to get in here. This is fiddly. I do feel like actually adding the brown, which is the 49 umber, I do feel like it's adding to it. I mean, it's just a small corner over here, so I don't want to get too nitpicky about what color I use actually. Just one, because I am a bit of a perfectionist, but I guess in areas like this, I can just kind of let go a bit more. Which is exactly why I do that, because that is a bit of my weakness. You know, I just want everything to be too much of an exact copy. That just gets me into trouble, I guess. Because it just doesn't always work out the way I want. So I guess taking these, well, I would say opportunities to just mess around a bit, that's good. If I can make it work in a small area, maybe I can make it work elsewhere as well. Back to this, now I'm going to need a very sharp point. The sad thing is that I have been sharpening these all in my rotary sharpener, or what you call it, the noisy one. And they create a longer point, so basically, if I push this too hard into the handheld sharpener, I'll just break the point, ruin the pencil. I feel like I should add like a bit of a turquoise kind of color, maybe. I mean, I do have that. I feel like I should probably just maybe just add that. Yeah, now I'm gonna go for 201. I feel confident about using that. I'm just gonna really make sure that my points are sharp, which in this case means I just have to carefully break off a bit of the point in order to just sharpen the point. Yeah, I feel like this actually makes a bit of sense. Yeah, I'm good with this. Just that little bloppy, there's bloppiness going on, which is good. It's also different enough from whatever the color of the sky is going to be. Just feel like I picked that lighter color here over. I picked that for nothing, I think, because it's kind of disappeared, but let's just see if I can get that gravelly bit away. And it does look, I mean, it's definitely not exactly the same, but over here is just a bit of a tree, which I can quickly find that other part of the picture. I had that yesterday. I actually had like a, yeah, because over here, I mean, I think it's part of that tree. I mean, it's gotta be. Because this is like the left side of that picture. Because we have that bridge too, so. I mean, that footpath, that, yeah, so there's, it's a tree over here, which is probably like the top. I mean, it feels like a little too bright, so maybe I can just, wait, I used this on that beam, and maybe, let me just check that color, because that is the 241, and that seems like a perfect color to just bring it back into, I don't know, the shadows, or, yeah, here we go. I mean, it's not mega effective, but it will do, because it's such a small area, so I don't want to go too crazy. I mean, this might actually have been a better place to just tap with that, but as you can see, you know, I did do that over there, and I did kind of pull it to the background, so I'm happy with that. All right, so we are in for quite a bit. I'm just going to go and see if there's anything that really needs whiting out. All right, I keep going there and just, what is that? It's annoying me. Weird smudge. Now that blue dot I had from slamming a pencil there, I'm good with that. Now with this tree, I'm not sure if I'm actually even getting to that on the next go. But that castle, I mean, those lines are so light. I mean, compared to the other lines, those are just... And I did want to see how the page would turn out if I didn't do too much with whiting out lines, so I should just stick to that. Now that corner I'm probably going to be doing alongside with him, because that glow, I kind of feel like that glow of the lamp, I should focus on that in one go. But, you know, so far so good, I feel. And for now, I do think that I'm just gonna call this a day. I mean, I could do those as well. I mean, that's the same tree, isn't it? I mean, it's like nothing. Right, I'll just do that too and sort of start wrapping up a bit, because I do feel that right now I'm at that point when if I start doing something else, we're going to be adding way too much time. That's probably, yeah, that might not be what I'm after. I mean, I wouldn't mind spending more time on it. It's just I wouldn't mind spending too much time on it. I mean, I don't know how long people would prefer it. I mean, over time, I will know, I think. And I keep asking. So I will ask again, you know, like, how long would you prefer a color and chat like this to be? I mean, I'm thinking that if you really want to color along, I mean, you can pause it if it's like too long, because that is an option. But I can also understand that maybe on the other hand, you get excited, like me, and just find new things to color, and you keep one to color. So, I mean, I guess there's pros and cons for keeping them short, or, well, short. Wouldn't call an hour short, but I have noticed that my chattiness is kind of weird, so I'm gonna really see if maybe for the next time I can, I don't know, I should maybe make like a script or something, or at least write down a few words, like this is what you want to talk about, and then I could just off screen kind of like check, so that I actually know that I talked about it. But knowing myself, I would probably forget to do that. Oh, check, we already talked about this. So, you know, if I forget to check that off, then I'll just be repeating myself, which is probably no different from what I'm doing right now, but alright, I feel, is this the lime green or the, what did I get? I got the lime green, because I feel like if I just stay a bit on the lighter side from the beginning, then I can kind of make it easier to just push it back into the background. Because again, I want my colors to really be intense. I really enjoy that, which is why you see me go over something that would seem already colored, but I will just keep going over that and over that and over that until that color is like really there. Now, I mean, that's probably not the perfect way to color, but it's my way to color. And I don't know, I feel like I keep going back to doing that. So for some reason, I have to assume that I just feel comfortable or something. It's just my way. Yeah. But I just really feel like that all that paper behind the color, it should be gone. It just, I bought this book to color it. I'll color it, I shall be gone, paper. Then I also feel that, you know, it just really makes it pop. Is that the right way to say it? Yeah. Well, I said it anyways. But, I don't know, I probably should have gone for a gray over here to maybe really push it back, but I feel, oh yeah, that is way better. That is so much better than that one. And that is actually not really all that conflicting with the reference, because in the reference is also, that one is a bit more foggy. So I guess you can see like it's a tree and this part is just really close. So it kind of becomes clearer, although I am sort of trying to push it back a little bit more. If it were paint, you would just kind of put something over there. Now, I know that I can actually do that like I did over there and use this, but the area is so small and I feel like I would probably be messing it up. Now that little blobby thing, I feel like that is not, well, you know, I do feel like this is like all I can really do today. I mean, you can start like fiddling with the castle and be like, wow, it will just be 10 minutes, but before you know it. So, I don't know, I mean, do let me know in the comments, like, what do you feel is, like, the ideal time to spend on this? I mean, I know that, you know, I'm just going to take a short break and then I'll be back and I'd be ready for part 4. I mean, I don't think I've ever done so many parts so fast. So, I do feel like maybe the next part, I mean, if I'm going to be starting this area, I think that's going to take a bit of time, but it's also kind of like, you know, if you decide to color something, like the tree, you just want to finish the tree. And whether that takes 1 hour or 2, I don't know. It's kind of just seeing where that coloring page takes me. But I do know that I need to stick to my plan a bit more. Because often I'm like, well, you know, I'm just going to quit. And then I decided to do these leaves, and I think I took at least like, well, too long on that as well, so. But yeah, for the next time, I do think like that whole sky thing, because it just looks white. I mean, it's not. I could try and find like a color. So I'm actually leaning towards a bit of a gray with maybe a cream, or I don't know if the polys have a better option. Yeah, I'm leaning towards some form of a ivory or cream, or, well, I mean, I do have many choices. I feel like maybe just that this might be more fun, but it could also be a beige, so, you know, I might just have to select colors based on, do I have a like follow-up color? But you know, that is for the next time. So for now, I am definitely calling this the end of part 3. So if you want to get that notification for part 4, do subscribe and turn on those notifications so that you know when it's online. And you know, I would appreciate if you click the like button. It really would. It would really encourage me. But yeah, I think for now, I have been babbling and rambling for long enough. So thank you for watching. And I hope to see you back for, what is it, part 4. So yeah, again, thanks for watching and have a good one.